Finally, the duel is reviewing Hunter x Hunter. Yes. Tolkien Anime coming at you with another video. My second installment of my arc review playlist, and it is going to be about the first arc in Hunter x Hunter, the shonen battle manga series. Alright, basically I'm going to be reviewing the Hunter exam arc, my thoughts, my synopsis, my reviews, and my prediction of what happens further. Now I must tell you ahead of time that I know what happens further, but inside of keeping the integrity of reviewing this arc, I'm going to have my thoughts and my initial excitement that I had before I read past, the Greed Island and much more currently to the current manga. I'm almost caught up, but I'm not yet. So here's how it's going to be. All right, the Hunter exam arc is basically introducing the character Gon and his reasons for becoming what is labeled as a hunter, the most prestigious thing that you can be called in the Hunter x Hunter world. And it covers basically around 6 trials that test your emotional, physical, and mental capacity when it comes to being a hunter and earning the right to doing what you want to do around the world. Okay, so as we see from our main protagonist Gon, he meets up with this hunter at an early age named Kaito, who is the apprentice of Jin, Gon's father, who is revealed to be a hunter himself. Alright, and as Gon learns about Kaito's exploits to find his father Jin, Gon wants to drive for the same goal too, and as he gets older, he qualifies for the Hunter exam. And as Gon qualifies for the Hunter exam, he goes, through a prerequisite of trials, getting on a hazardous ship ride, and then having to go through this forest and having to find people who will show them the passageway to the Hunter exam site. Alright, and once he reaches the Hunter exam site, this is where the real challenge begins. Now, for most humans in real life, including me and people and even those in the military and those, most of them wouldn't even pass the way when it comes to facing those creatures and where they had to show them the exam site. So you can already tell that this is going to be a supernatural manga, where it starts out. And the people who have qualified so far are really skilled around the world in what they do. Okay, as we see, it's funny because once Gon and characters that Gon meets, such as Kurapika and Leorio, gets to the exam site, it turns out to be a food place, and it's a very good hiding place. To host the Hunter exam, because it's supposed to be an exam that shows dexterity. And before I go into the real actual challenges, it's really covered how this exam, it must be rigorous in order to have the prestigious title of the hunter. And throughout the exam and what you see and the rigors of what you have to do here, you'll begin to see why a hunter is one of the most prestigious things you can be inside of this series. That's why it's called Hunter x Hunter. But I like that method to it. So as we go through the trials, the first one introduces one of the judges, practitioners, Santotaro, and basically the qualifiers have to go through a series of running for hours on end. And I must tell you, no human can be able to do that. I mean, these guys must have been training their asses off since day one to be able to qualify for that. All right, and on our way, when we see this, they're running underground, from where the food place was all the way to this forest-like region. And before they reach the forest-like region, we see characters such as number 44, Hisoka, and number 99, Killua, and numbers 197, 198, and 199, which are the Ikuma brothers, or their brothers, who qualify for the Hunter exam. And we have other characters such as numbers 403, number 404, and number 405, our regular group, Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio. But you get such others that are hyped up at the beginning, such as this Eyes with all these emos / pins to his face and his body. And we'll get to see what he does and what importance he has more to the series. And there's also, people who we just regularly see. Alright, as the trials go, we see the endurance of the characters, the Hunter exam, the rigors. Like I said, they have to go at least 6 hours running towards a jungle. And once they reach the jungle, there's some controversy, and they have to go through this foggy jungle where they still have to follow Sentotoru. And as they progress and they get to the site where they have to follow him, some people die off and some people don't. And, you know, some people take it upon themselves to kill each other, and some people just want to survive. And more people are getting eliminated for a basic nomination and for a basic test of these people. More people are getting eliminated from the exam. Third phase of the exam is where we find, I like to say the ease up arc, where you have to cook food. And there are two phases to this. One is that you have to cook food for one half of the judge, and the second is that you have to cook food for the other half of the judge. So there's one judge is this big fatso who demands pork ribs, and they go hunt out and go back to the forest and kill the pork they can find and cook it, and he eats all of them. The second one is where this woman, you know, demands everyone to cook sushi. And it's so funny because no one knows how to cook sushi except this one ninja guy who's named Hanzo. And I'm not going to say everything, but, you know, it's funny. And no one really passes. But the president comes in and he says, we're going to continue the exam, you know, the lack of dexterity of the test and whatnot. And like, you know, they progress on. So now we go on to the fourth actual challenge. And that goes off to everyone going on the president's ship and being flown to this big pillar tower. Well, as we see there, it's a challenge and they have to go all the way down. But what happens is that one guy says, okay, I'm going to climb down. But then these giant creatures come out of nowhere and then they attack the guy. And I'm thinking, we're not going to go down there like that. So everyone goes down these secret trap doors in order to find different pathways inside of the tower. So inside of the tower, this is the summit. Everywhere you walk, there's a trap door which leads up to a different lane. If you can understand. I don't want to explain it as much. Go read it if you haven't understand it. All right. As it progresses, the hunter exam, you know, people are grouped up into different situations. They fight in different situations. And like I said, through each test, a certain amount of people keep getting knocked out. So this is the fourth one. Our original crew, Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, are still down there. And Killua, who becomes a part of the crew, you know, they made it down there. But we have these other individuals like Hisoka. He's made it down there too. And then we have that guy with all the piercing, he survived. So as that is continued, they have a break into the fifth exam. You know, they give the competitors a chance to rest up and do whatever and whatnot. And we go to the fifth part of the exam, and they have to actually hunt each other in an island for 10 days. No, I think for a week. And the basis of this is that they have to hunt for their tags. But there isn't any rules that doesn't qualify them for being killed, or that doesn't qualify them for... that doesn't qualify them for being killed, or that doesn't qualify them for, you know, not having their tags in a certain amount of time. Some shit like that, alright? It's cool, because when you see it up from here, we still have our main cast, Kurapika, Leorio, Gon, and Killua, and Hisoka, and our piercing guy. But then you get to narrow it down to 9 individuals, and we get to see every character, almost every character, get their own individuality. But it's more important once you head over to the sixth and final stage, to where the president takes the final 9 people and he groups them into a tournament. And it's funny how he groups them into a tournament, because he basically asks them who they want and would not want to fight. And I think he groups them in a way to make sure that they do. It's cool. But the sixth and final round, I think, holds, you know, the most important meat and importance of this arc. Everything leading up to this sixth and final round is what basically made it, you know. It was what really mattered in a shonen battle manga. In a shonen battle manga, you know, they actually had to fight each other to become hunters. But there was a unique rule set place in order for them to become hunters. Alright? They were grouped in such a place to where they had 2 opportunities to fight, but they only had to win 1 match to become a hunter. Alright? It was cool. Out of those 9, 7 individuals became hunters. And those 7 individuals were Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, coupled with Hisoka and Illuma, who turns out to be, you know, the emo polka dotted, you know, piercing guy. But in the future, we learn that that's Killua's brother. All right, we see Mosero. I think he was defeated by Hanzo in Hanzo's second fight, and Hanzo himself. And we have 2 eliminations with Bodero and another fodder cannon guy, you know, who almost made it. Now we have 7 hunters, and the meat of the story is like this. Throughout this series, we get to see more of what Killua, you know, has to deal with inside of his goals and aspirations for becoming a hunter, especially with his brother coming in and stopping him from becoming a hunter himself, and also with his brother, you know, becoming a hunter in order to achieve his own aspirations and goals. But we get to see more of how the story centralizes around Gon, because Hisoka, quote unquote, says, you know, he's an unripened fruit, and he wants to see more of him and competing against him, and he'll keep him alive until he can reach that strength and can contend against him. And we see Gon's wherewithal and his ability to use his instinct, his skills throughout the entire arc, you know, that he's learned from his home island in order to become a hunter, but more he gets to develop because he learns what specific things he has to do to become a hunter. And I really like how he's given the characterization and personality of a stubborn type, where we see when he's going against the president in a ball game, and where we can see where he doesn't want to quit in the fight against Hanzo, a trained assassin ninja. It's very cool to see that. And we can see that his personality, his stubbornness will play a huge factor, whether it be good or bad, in later arcs. And that stubbornness is what allows him to become a hunter. And Kurapika, you know, herself, I'm going to call her her, even though Togashi doesn't want to define if it's a he or a her. Fuck that. Basically, Kurapika has a revenge goal, but it's a better revenge goal rather than somebody else we know. Sasuke Chi. But it you know, it's revenge for a gang. I think the Spider Brigade or some type of brigade from killing off her clan, and she wants to become a hunter in order to have the capabilities to find who did that and automatically kill him and destroy him. Leorio, much more simple. He wants to use his hunter status for money, you know, power, so he can be able to help others, basically. Because he wants to become a doctor and not charge anyone for becoming a doctor. But he doesn't have the funding, the money, in order to take the studies of a doctor and get his degree. So that's pretty cool. And Mosero, we don't know much of Mosero's goals, but we know that he's comes from around the world. And Hanzo too, even though he's an assassin ninja who's trained since he was a kid, we don't know much of why he wants to become a hunter. With Hisoka, he doesn't give much reason to his hunter status. And Illuma, Killua's brother, basically says he wants to become a hunter in order to complete his latest assignment as an assassin. Alright? So, I think I covered, you know, basically who's become a hunter. You know, yeah, I think I've covered basically the hunters, you know, the ones who've competed and become hunters, and what results after that. And I can't cover everything in the Hunter exam arc because there's so much. This arc ranges from chapters 1 to 38. Overall, I give this arc an 8.5 out of 10. It did a great job in giving us a fun ride in order to see the dexterity and the gravity of what a hunter is, and putting creative tests and trials in place for us, you know, as manga readers, and, you know, just the art that was given for us to see what these characters, you know, what they were striving for and becoming a hunter, and putting the gravity of becoming a hunter. And one other thing that I liked is throughout the whole entire arc, the first arc of the series, how Gon's father, Jin, was extremely hyped up for, like crazy. Like, we learned that he's a double hunter, which we don't know what that is yet, but that just sounds better than a regular hunter. We learned that he's affected such figures as one of the judges, Santotaro, and we just learned that in the future, Gon's goal is going to be so difficult because this guy, his father Jin, is going to be so powerful. Alright, and since I've caught up with it, you know, I won't tell you guys what happened other times. You'll learn in my other arc reviews on Hunter x Hunter, but then, you know, they won't come out quickly. They'll come out, you know, so-so, or because there's only so few arcs that I can talk about. Alright, so this has been Dorkin Anime. Like or dislike this video, it does not matter. You just have to get my name out there, and it's all the quality and all the content with none of the filler. And if you don't know what that is, you need to watch more anime. watch/read Hunter x Hunter, the shonen battle manga / anime. It is a very good series, and if you just stay for the first arc, you'll get pulled in automatically. You'll get pulled in. Don't worry. Yeah, and this is from someone who's read it twice. So, Dorkin and anime. Peace out, guys. Wait, whoa. One other thing. My favorite character inside of the arc, Hisoka. I think Hisoka is going to play a much more primary role as an antagonist towards Gon and somewhat the Killua too. I like it. I like it a lot. I like his personality a lot because he doesn't seem like a stereotypical, evil prick. Even though I know he's not as good, you can't easily define him as good or evil. And that's what I like in my shonen antagonist. It gives me a feel of Sensui and Toguro in Yu Yu Hakusho. But it's Yoshiro Togashi, so we can't expect any less. Alright guys, Dorkin Anime. Peace.